After Dark is a member of the MiceChat Podcast Network. MicePod.com. Now, the podcast that's nearly the same as all the others.
Warning, this show contains childish adult content and is intended for immature, mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised. The views spoken are ours and ours alone, not those of any other bugger. If you're easily offended, we strongly suggest finding another podcast. Everybody neat and pretty, then on with the show.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Let's put on the show.
Growing older is mandatory. Growing up is optional. Dis After Dark, the podcast that's nearly the same as all the others.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Mouse's Head for Series 2, Episode 11, if my mind serves me correctly, and it usually doesn't. I am Paul.
I am Nick.
And I'm the other Paul.
And joining us in the bar today, Logan. Introduce yourself to us.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. It's Logan Sekulow. I'm the director of a new movie called As Dreamers Do about Walt Disney, and I'm really happy to be here in the Mouse's Head with all of you guys.
It's fantastic to have you, and we will be talking to you in depth about your movie quite a bit later.
Absolutely, I'll be around.
It's always good to have directors on because it makes us sound and feel a bit more important than we actually are.
Of course, you only saw it inside.
Fantastic. Gentlemen, let's start off as we mean to go on. What are you drinking?
Well, last time I had a bottle of Tiger beer, which was themed after Jungle Book. This week I've got a bottle of Tigger beer, which is really the same because it was 3 for 2, and I got a little bit left over. Cheers.
There's an extra G in marker pen on it.
I just stuttered a little bit as I said it. To Tigger.
Oh,
well, actually, Mr. Boniface has seen a real bottle of Tigger beer.
One got handed to me. Yes,
it had a spring on the bottom. Oh, memories. But I don't know if I mentioned it last time, but I bought rather a lot of Bud Light with lime, so I'm still cracking through that. I'm on bottle 3 of the day, which is quite bad for me. It's been one of those days today. But hopefully I'll.
It's not even like your teenagers playing up or anything.
No, she's not quite a teen. And also I discovered that I like red wine recently.
All right.
But I wasn't going to drink a bottle of that for the show.
1 week maybe, when you haven't got to get up for work the next day.
Yeah, that might not be a bad idea.
Logan, pretending there isn't a massive time gap between us.
I am enjoying Walt Disney's favorite drink, a Scotch mist for everyone. So it ties in for mine.
Excellent.
For the reason I'm here. So that's why I'm having, of course, in the middle of the afternoon. And, just believe.
I've gone down a Muppet Vision 3D theme today because I found Fuller's Honeydew.
Oh.
So I have gone for the Dr. Bunsen Honeydew. So let's crack that one open. Cheers,
These are
gentlemen.
my top 5 favourite Muppet characters as well.
Well, there you go. If you list the other 4, I'll try and get various top 4 Muppet-related beers.
Okay, good luck with that. Rolf,
okay.
Stadler, Waldorf and Beaker.
Okay. Yeah. The beaker might be easy. You could drink anything out of one.
Yeah. There is that.
Yeah. Stadler, not sure.
But of course, if our dear listeners, think there's a way they might be able to help us locate a beer with a Muppet character like that, then of course they could visit our website at www.DisAfterDark.com or email us at podcast@DisAfterDark.com.
You are the master of the segue.
Or keeping this 10-year segue going, they could tweet us at Twitter at DisAfterDark or contact us on Facebook.com/DisAfterDark. Or we're on MiceChat.
We are. And Instagram, Pinterest, elsewhere. Just look. Apparently, we're on BlackBerry Messenger now.
Yes.
Well. I don't know anything about it.
No.
I got an iPhone. No. I know nothing.
Apparently, we can do it on the phones.
You can do that on iPhones, but I've never got into it. There's also, we're not on it yet, so don't try. But there's also WhatsApp.
Yeah.
What's that?
What's that?
As I'm drinking my Budweiser. My Budweiser? Oh, you can see that a few of them kicked in. We're not on that yet, so don't search us, but knowing our luck, we will be on it very soon.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Logan, before we get in depth about your movie, where can we find information about it?
Sure. The best place right now is our Facebook page. We have a website, a Twitter, everything, but our Facebook is really the most updated. It's just facebook.com/WaltMovie, WaltMovie, I believe. And that's also our Twitter account. Everything is Walt Movie. The movie's called As Dreamers Do, but everything we try to make it easy. Because before we had the title, we decided to capture some domains as the script was being written. Excellent. And Walt Movie was the easiest one. So that's the easiest way. Our website has stuff that it looks fancier, but our Facebook has all the updated information. And as of right now,
excellent. And I'll make my usual completely empty false promises about remembering to put that in the show notes.
Sure, please. I'll keep on you. I'll take a look. That's the problem.
Please do.
You have a listener now on your show, so I'm going to look and just make sure.
Hold them accountable.
Yes, there we go.
I will, absolutely.
Oh, well, I kind of promised we wouldn't do this, but I feel there has been some very important stuff come out this week, so...
A view of the news with DisAfterDark.
I'm going to start this week because I know last time and every time I do it, I let one of you start and someone steals my news item. A talking trash can has been removed. What does anyone? I'm guessing most of our listeners are aware of Push, the talking trash can.
Yes.
And I hope so.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we don't get very many new people who haven't been to Disney World or anything. I'm pretty sure they're all experienced. But yeah, the talking trash can, out of contract.
It's funny because I think I'm probably the only member on the show tonight that's never actually met Push. I'm very aware of him, her, it. But yeah, I never actually got to meet the great bin itself.
I was drinking around Epcot one day and started talking to a bin before they told me it was actually a Magic Kingdom.
It was a Magic Kingdom, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the same one.
Has anyone actually met him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I've met Push on many occasions. And it's sad. Mainly the weird part about that was just the way it happened.
Yeah, it was all, no, he's not going anywhere.
Right.
He's not going anywhere. Actually, yes, he is.
He's gone.
And there was some kind of uproar about how he was using whoever it was, the operator.
Yes. Yeah. Weirdly enough, I've spoken to that operator before, the guy who I guess it's the guy that created Push, because he created a land speeder that is like street legal, or it's a golf cart land speeder from Star Wars that I was trying to buy from him. That is incredible if anyone looks it up if you're a Star Wars fan. But he created Push, and it's pretty interesting.
But hang on a second. So this wasn't a real talking bin. I feel like I'm the naive person on this show because the other week someone told me Shamu wasn't real. And now people are telling me that a magical talking bin isn't actually a magical talking bin.
No, they're mistaken, Nick.
This might be my final show.
Yeah, okay, but we're wrong.
So there used to be a talking palm tree in front of the Animal Kingdom as well, didn't there? Or did I dream that up?
I don't know. There's Divine, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure she is actually a real person.
Oh yeah, no, there was at the front of the park.
Not actually Divine, because that would be a big fat transgender bloke. Push. I mean, they've taken it out. He's out of contract. Do you reckon they're planning something with a Star Wars land where they'll do an R2-D2?
Well, I thought. Yeah, they've had R2-D2 a few times during Star Wars weekends. So I mean, I guess that would make sense. They even had the C-3PO that talks. That's really impressive. That's a really, really skinny bloke. Yeah, I don't know how that one works. I understand the talking trash can, but the real C-3PO, I'm not so sure.
I've heard it's quite funny you bring up R2-D2 because I've actually heard people refer to him as a talking trash can.
Exactly.
I think, even in the films at some point. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I don't know. Am I going to miss him? Well, I don't know. I'm sure they'll do something, and I've never actually wandered around aiming for a character photo with a talking trash can. It's nice, it's a bit of fun, but it isn't going to detract from my experience, and I'm not going to go, well, that's it, I'm having a hissy fit and cancelling my holiday now.
The only thing I would say is that, I mean, again, I've only seen videos of the little dude, but the demise of something like that is just another thing I think is quite tragic in its loss, because it's those kind of things that set out the Magic Kingdom or a Disney park from any other kind of park. It's those little magical touches, and I think, although yes, it's only a small little thing, you know, the fact that over the years we've lost so many things like that, it's just a shame.
Yeah, if that's the issue, is your issue also with kind of, it's interactive, so at least you get to talk back and it talks back to you.
Yeah, it's live.
A lot of the rides are that kind of nature, or have been in the past, and slowly but surely they seem to be being whittled down. So it's just, you know, it's ride now rather than an interactive experience. So,
live entertainment. I mean, you're right. It's been quite a few who have disappeared over the years.
It's sad but true, I think. But so, you know, it's not a deal breaker, but I guess I wonder what actually are we ever going to find out the actual story behind it? There are two sides, and it's been published a bit, but I don't know. Some sort of legal wranglings going on that we won't find out the exact history of it, I'm sure.
Do you reckon somebody will make a documentary about how evil the person operates?
Black bin.
That's brilliant. Oh, we got to make that. That may be just a short we got to do with the
album. Absolutely. Yes.
Your follow-up.
Get that on YouTube.
That would be incredible.
Black bin, how bins have been treated.
I once portrayed a bin in a school play when I was 9, so you know.
So I know who to call.
We'll
hold auditions for Push.
Yeah, ex trash cleaners at
I'm afraid
various theme parks.
I think Push is a trademark. You might have to call it Shove or something.
Yeah, hey, speaking of Push, did you know that, I mean, this is just a weird Walt Disney trivia that may or may not be true, but a lot of people say it, is that Walt Disney saw a trash can open just without the push door before they even invented the push door, and he said, figure out a way to the Imagineers to where guests will not see trash. So they invented the push door.
Let me think. Nowadays, that would have been a complete committee. They would have to sit down.
Exactly.
Someone decide on a method. Well, it's going to have to go to health and safety, first of all, to make sure it's not going to trap people's fingers. And then, can we decide on a door? Well, I don't think we're quorate. So, no, officially we can't. Get that in triplicate. Yeah, it's going to be
Maybe they're coming out with the new Push. Maybe we're getting, like, new-looking trash cans in Tomorrowland, and they're just waiting for, Push 2.0.
Yeah, I'm now still stuck on Black Bin.
Black bin is genius.
There's going to be photographs of Push having been made redundant now, waiting in welfare lines.
Push was taken away from all of the other trash cans.
Waiting in welfare lines to collect his check.
I'm probably not going to be going back for a while, but when I do, maybe like you did, Paul, and you got drunk, maybe I just talk to random bins in case one talks back. Anyway, DisAfterDark for all your trash receptacle needs.
Absolutely.
We should figure a way to get trash cans to talk randomly. Like, get a little recorder inside a trash can.
Get off!
Message people.
There's a very good Simpsons episode like that. I can see how we can make this happen.
Just a walkie-talkie with a speaker button taped down.
That's it.
Stand well back. Get off! Yes. What do you think I am? Push!
Don't put your crap in here.
Anyone got any other news?
Yeah, well, West Palm. That was the palm tree at Disney's Animal Kingdom. I've been doing a little bit of Googling.
Oh, okay.
West Palm.
Oh.
What, as in a play on words on my football club?
I think it may be. Although, I'm not quite sure how many people would get that.
Yeah.
No.
I think it's West Palm Beach or something like that. Play on words on that.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
And so the palm tree talked as well?
Yeah, it did.
Wow.
I don't think it was quite as popular as the trash can.
No, because if it started following you around, you'd think it was Day of the Triffids.
What happening? Apparently, I've never seen it, but I think that's what happens in that film. Right, other news. Yeah,
I know you're going to go with.
Exciting news from Disneyland Paris.
Oh, no way.
I don't know. What was your exciting news about Disneyland Paris?
Tough.
No, I didn't think you were going to go there. Keep going.
Yeah.
Come back to the next piece then.
Oh, good. Okay. So, yeah, exciting news for Disneyland Paris.
Yeah.
Because they've just revealed there's a Ratatouille ride opening this year.
Hey! Is this breaking news or is it still a rumour?
No, straight from the Philip Gass's mouth. No, they had their annual shareholders meeting, which I'm not allowed to go to anymore since I refused to buy more shares. Well, actually, it was all in French anyway, so I wouldn't have gone. But they announced that the Ratatouille thing is opening this year. Big surprise, especially as they were running adverts in Germany about 2 weeks ago for it. Apparently, it's going to be called Remy's Totally Crazy Adventure, which is an update, because the other week I did see it was called Ratatouille the Ride, and I thought, has Paul Boniface got involved with the workings of this ride? But apparently not. Remy's Totally Crazy Ride is what it's going to be called.
Remy's Totally Crazy Ride. That's actually worse than Ratatouille's Kitchen Nightmare. Or have I gone Gordon Ramsay?
You have. That's the one
in
at Alton Towers. That's the one at Alton Towers. Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmare. Lots of swearing. It's like, the only thing that's kind of interesting about it is the way the adverts are looking for the ride, and the fact that it is a massive e-ticket attraction that's opening up. Is that the rumours are that the park is going to stay open longer. Now, the studios at the moment famously close very early, with good reason, because you'll do it in a day anyway. But now they've got this and the restaurant and the shop and everything like that. It does look like they might try and extend the opening hours, which I actually think would be a good thing.
Yeah.
I think it would encourage people more to go, because the thing is, if your option is go to studios or go to Magic Kingdom, and Magic Kingdom is open obviously all day and the studios isn't, you'll probably go to Magic Kingdom, and if you had time, which you won't, you'd go to the studios. But now, if the studios are open late as well, you could, pretty much do both if you wanted to. Flit in between.
If it's open a bit longer, you might actually get on the Crush's Coaster.
Yeah.
No. It won't happen.
Because for the few American listeners we have, and this includes you, Logan.
Hey, I've been to Disneyland Paris.
Excellent.
So I'm aware. I'm aware of the Crush Coaster.
Yeah, Crush's Coaster is our equivalent because we don't have a Toy Story Mania.
Yeah.
It is the one where everyone gets down in the Usain Bolt and then pulls the lightning pose when they actually reach the end. Because it is a mad dash. The main difference between that particular ride and Toy Story Mania is that you're also running against French people.
Well, and Spanish and Germans.
Spanish and Germans, yeah.
And occasionally English. But it's amazing that a ride that's been open that long... Now, everyone says about the queues at Toy Story Mania, and that's been open, obviously, a few years itself, but Crush's Coaster opened in 2007, I believe, and even now, queues of well over an hour, to an hour and a half or so, are quite often the case. It's ridiculous. I mean, that doesn't have a fast pass system, and that kind of gives me a worry about what Disney World might be like when there is no fast pass anymore, and it's all fast pass plus. Is that if you don't get it, is that what your experience is going to be like? But immensely popular ride. So you're right. Maybe it will help with the congestion. And surely the fact that another big popular ride is going to be opening up in that same area means it's going to take some of the pressure away from Crush, which is good.
And it's the same ride system as Mystic Manor, which I don't know if I've ever mentioned. I've been on.
Have you? Yeah. Have you ever been on Mystic Manor, Paul?
I may have done.
Yeah. You should tell us about it sometime.
Is Mystic Manor at all?
Silence! I will not tolerate your insolence.
By the way, that's not anyone else joining us, Logan. That's just a random sound effect.
Again, I'm aware. I know. I've hung out with this pub before.
Mystic Manor, is it at all based on the 1980s sitcom Marble-Headed Manor?
May well be. It's closer to Rent-A-Ghost, though.
Now you've lost me. No.
British children's.
Ben Stiller was supposed to be remaking Rent-A-Ghost.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, bearing in mind I don't think it's ever been shown in America. He was going to do a movie version of Rent-A-Ghost, starring Russell Brand as well.
There's a surefire hit then.
So I don't think it's gone into production. I think we're okay.
Yeah. Oh God, thank goodness.
Anyway,
Yeah.
So here's where I thought you were going to go then, Nick.
All right.
Blank, the new Disney short story shown at Hollywood Studios.
Oh, hello.
You know about this one?
You know what? As a Vinylmation fan, I haven't seen it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because the 8 foot. I mean, well, I'll let you carry on with the story, and I'll interject at the end.
Okay, so it's a 39-minute short. It's a stop motion about a blank, unpainted Vinylmation figure in search of his lost soulmate, and it's set in a miniature scale world of Vinylmation. They've brought it out for Valentine's Day, so it's going to be shown in the studios and it runs a couple of times a day, but it's quite a long film, 39 minutes. It's quite long for a short.
I wouldn't call that a short,
Yeah.
A medium, possibly.
Now, it was available on Google Play, but when I tried to access it, I couldn't actually access it on Google Play. You can watch the teaser or the trailer on YouTube, but I wasn't actually able to watch the whole film.
There is, I mean, I've not tried this yet, but I know some people have said they weren't able to, but it is there to watch.
Yeah.
It just seems that the link's a little bit funny.
Right.
So have a look, guys, and if we find a proper link, we'll let you have it. Now, I've actually got some interesting facts about this, even though I haven't seen it. So last year at D23, because it's a big expo, they always do limited edition items. They did sets of the blank characters, the boy and the girl.
Sorry, they're blanks. They're blank Vinylmations, but they did the characters.
Special edition blanks.
Right, so...
Okay, I'll let you go.
The boy has a bow tie, and the girl has a pink bow.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's what the Vinylmations had. Oh, exactly. Other colours are available. So they released 1,500 of these things, 1,500 sets of these at D23. Didn't sell out. Now the film's come out, now they're eventually starting to go through the process. Apparently I've got a set coming, but I'm waiting for confirmation. But what was interesting was they released on Friday some 3-foot versions of these Vinylmations.
3-foot Vinylmations.
Yeah. They had one of each, and they were $4,000. And they sold it in under 5 minutes.
I was going to resort back to the language we used in the first couple of episodes then.
Yeah, please don't.
HFC.
Absolutely crazy. I don't get it. And I've not seen it. Apparently it's quite nice, but I mean the idea of Vinylmation world, even though I'm surrounded by them, is quite scary. So apparently it's quite good fun, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, for those that are interested, you can still buy complete blank ones now without any bows of any kind for about $17. So fill your boots.
Excellent. We could challenge you, Logan.
Yes.
Have you noticed any news coming out that we haven't yet?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm so deep into editing. But Vinylmation's interesting. One of a person I work with from time to time, and my wife works with art, is an artist named Noah, who's pretty popular in the Disney parks, and he does those 4-foot or 3-foot, however big they are, 4 or 5. They're huge Vinylmations. Yeah. Yes, they sell very well, and his are pretty cool though. I mean, I'm not a Vinylmation collector myself, but when I look at one that is 4 feet tall, it is fairly impressive.
Noah has done some 9 inches, which is the normal,
the regular size. Yeah, that's typically
you get a 1.5 inch, a 3 inch, and a 9 inch. And his 9 inches go for... Shut up. His 9 inches...
I couldn't possibly snigger at that.
Ooh, misses.
His 9-inch vinyls sell for over... I think they're about $600-700 each.
Yeah, when because they're one of a kind. He typically does them. They're hand painted. I need you guys, if you want him on, I can probably get him on the show. He's an awesome guy, but he is... Yeah, he'll do them like in runs of 12 or 24 or something like that. And people will line up all night to get them in the morning.
I should take this offline, but yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd like to meet the guy because he's a very talented individual, I will say.
Absolutely. I'm
And
sure.
he's more than Vinylmation as well. Does a lot of very cool art things for Disney.
Oh, yeah. That's Vinylmations are just one thing. He does all kinds of art, and he's just a terrific guy. But I think he spends a decent amount of time. I know he was in the UK a couple months ago, so maybe he could pop into the pub soon.
Didn't even call me to let me know.
No, didn't even know. He had a Vinylmation collector right there. Could have sold tons of them.
Fantastic.
At least 3.
Excellent. Well, that's basically covered the news. Seeing as we're trying to get out of not doing it, but
Yeah.
it apparently it dates the show. But then, if you're going back listening to shows from a year ago, anyway.
It says on the Orlando Sentinel says there's a small fire Thursday night at the Magic Kingdom.
Oh yes, is it Little Mermaid?
Yeah, the
Yep.
5-foot section of the roof of the Little Mermaid ride caught fire. Whoa! I don't know.
Because some foliage on the roof got caught by some sparks from a firework.
I'm always curious about that, and then there you go. There it is.
Yeah, you kind of would have thought that perhaps the roofs of the
Not
pavilions underneath where they let off fireworks would at least be covered in fireproof foliage.
Did they not learn anything from King Kong? I don't mean about how to keep like
The Hollywood King Kong.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mean the actual ape himself. I mean the actual attraction.
The Universal Studios Hollywood King Kong.
Oh, actually, on that note, apparently groundbreaking is about to commence on the new King Kong attraction, which they haven't announced yet.
And
Orlando.
And the
In
new
Orlando?
restaurant. Yeah, and the new restaurant they haven't announced yet.
Yeah.
You do the King Kongs, I'll do the food.
What's the new restaurant? What do we know about the new restaurant?
Apparently it's possibly going behind the current Jurassic Park area.
Yeah.
He says, only remembering something he read on an internet page about an hour ago.
Yeah, no, that's right. It's the land around that section that they're kind of going to put it in.
And the potential for a possible new dark ride around the visitor centre. But I have no idea, and it's all rumours, and we're just making stuff up now.
Which we've never ever done before.
Indeed. Well, that's the news. So, Logan,
Yes.
it's your turn to shine.
Oh. Very nice.
Let us know. Tell us a bit about the film.
Sure.
Where it started from, and just go on.
Yeah. I've been a Disney fan, a Walt fan, and just a fan of the parks and of the movies my entire life. I grew up reading big biographies about Walt when I was probably way too little to be reading them, and it was just always something that was a passion of mine. I grew up, like I said, loving the parks, and even got married there. My wife and I got married at Disney World, so It's one of those things that's always stuck with me. I've been making a lot of different movies and shorts and music videos. I live in the Nashville, Tennessee area. Music City, and so I do a lot of work with there. But then, kind of a few months ago, back in the fall, so about August, we were kicking around ideas for a movie and what we could do, because we really felt our company had got to the point where we could tackle something a little bigger. And of course, me being the giant Walt fan that I am, stepped up to the plate as usual and said, let's tell this story, because I really think there is this amazing untold story. It's not untold, but if you're not a hardcore fan, you don't really know about it, which is kind of the struggles he went through as a kid all the way up until he ends up in Hollywood. And really that amazing journey, a journey that a lot of us have gone through similar issues and trials and tribulations. And, it was just an amazing story, and I really wanted to share it and share it with a little bit of an independent spin. It's definitely still a family movie, maybe not for little kids. It has some dark stuff in it, but it's not profane in any way. It's just a true good story. So we decided to tackle it, and now we're 6-7 months later, 8 months later, after just coming up with really I always had the concept. I always wanted to do it for 8 months since we really put it in motion. And I just finished my edit of the film, and we'll be premiering here in the spring. So,
the traditional story that a lot of Disney fans know is Walt grew up, got on a train, drew a mouse, called it Mortimer, ended up in Hollywood. And that's where most of us kind of go, well, and then he opened a park.
Right, and we don't even go. I mean, to be truthful to what this movie is, the movie really is Walt's time in the middle of the country here in the Midwest, and his time kind of perfecting his art, even pre-Mickey, pre-everything. Really before anything that we're really that aware of. But there's so much that inspired him during that time. And what's cool about our movie is Walt definitely was a storyteller. When you look at the stories he told about his youth, there's a lot of historians who have kind of said, well, that's probably not true. You know, that guy may have paid him, but really that guy, we've looked into history, was kind of a cheapskate. We didn't pay him. Or, this may, there's a whole myth that he had told a story. It's not a myth. It's the story he tells about a mouse that lived in his drawer at Laugh-O-Gram Studios, which was one of their first offices, and how inevitably that he kind of domesticated, and that inevitably became somewhat of an inspiration for Mickey Mouse. Now, can I 100% tell you that's true? No, but Walt told it. What we've kind of said is instead of going to all these third-party accounts of history, if Walt told the story, even if we think, truthfully, there's a good chance it's a myth, we decided to tell it because in some ways we're telling the movie in the back of our minds, if Walt told a story about himself, if he made his own movie, if he made his own biopic, his own story, what would it look like? And that's what we tried to, lightly, that's what inspired the creation of this movie. And there's lots of hidden stuff for Parks fans. There's references here and there. I mean, some stuff that's just straight up character names. And if you look over in the corner, if you look here and there, there's a lot of Easter eggs, if you will, that are scattered throughout. So if people aren't really that familiar with Walt, and his story, his backstory at least, but they love the parks, there's stuff in there for them. There may be a few, like I said, there's a few hidden gems in there. Some that are very obvious, and some that I will be surprised if anyone gets.
So the whole filmmaking process. How long ago did you finish the final draft of the script and the camera started rolling? Yeah,
I did not write the script myself. I commissioned it from a writer who is actually. I worked on the other side of the world. I worked in Nickelodeon for a year or so, and I met many amazing writers, people that worked and created on some of these giant shows for Nickelodeon and Nick Jr. Yeah. People that I thought were just immensely talented, and one of them was a woman, Wendy Ott, and I brought her in to write the script, and she finished the script. The first draft of the script she finished in probably November or maybe October, and then we got the final draft in mid to late November. Cameras were rolling. By January 2nd or January 7th, something, the first week of January, and we nearly killed ourselves, doing 2 weeks straight of production and then plenty of little things after that. But so I mean, with independent film, and we were working non-union, we weren't working with SAG or working with any of the big unions, so it made things speed up a lot faster, and we had the ability to get it done.
So how long did filming take?
Filming, principal photography, as we say, took 2 weeks, almost exactly, about 15 days. And then there's give or take a day or two here or there. I mean, there's still stuff we're picking up, weather permitting and that kind of stuff if necessary. But right now we have the movie completed. It's just if something happens, we're waiting. Of course, here we're supposed to get like these big blizzards. Nothing ever happened, and we really could use a cool scene in the snow. But the only scene we have right now in the snow, doesn't really impact the moment. So we're still waiting on a few of those things. But overall, 2 weeks is what it took to shoot our script from front to back, working with multiple cameras, working with a couple different crews at some times, getting our narration done. I mean, everything was done within that 2 weeks. It was a pretty big undertaking, and everyone needed a few days off to recoup after that. I was
going to say, 2 weeks sounds like a hellishly
short. It was a horrible idea. It was whoever said we can make this movie in 2 weeks, which I believe was me, was it was just terrible. I learned a lot, which was you need at least plan a couple days to breathe, because it was not easy, especially when we're dealing with a lot of outdoor scenes. The second day of our shoot, it was I'm not sure what it was very, very, very cold. It was well below freezing. It was in the single digits, and it could not have gone worse. But overall, the movie itself, I've looked at the footage. You can't tell that our main actor is freezing. It's fine. If you know that now, you'll be able to see that there's
2 weeks just
running down
sounds hellishly short.
It was.
For us non-film types that imagine the average Hollywood Jean-Claude Van Damme film takes about 6 months.
Well, hang on a second.
We could be wrong.
There has never been a moment in time where a Jean-Claude Van Damme film took 6 months to film. I'm telling you this right now.
Jean-Claude Van Damme film, so there you go.
So several below. But.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, I mean, it is something that is a process that, to say, we were very, very organized for those 2 weeks to make sure we got it done within our budget, within our time frame. And that's some of the reasons that we didn't go with it doing Union. We had a lot of major actors that were interested in our roles, and we decided to go with mostly unknowns and some guys here locally who are entertainers in general, and guys that were local actors who just killed it, and I thought did a great job, and because of that, we weren't working under union restrictions, which would have caused mandatory breaks here and there. And also, we wrote the script, or when I say we commissioned script, I directed the script, I'd say, knowing that was going to be the process, that it was going to be a 2-week shoot. So there's a lot of scenes. There's probably about 50 scenes in the movie, but a lot of them take place. A lot of them are just one person talking to another person, or two, maybe maximum 4 or 5 people. So it's it was very manageable when it came to the way we were able to shoot the film, and all the locations were pretty much in our backyard. And thankfully, though there was some crazy stuff that happened, it all worked out. We were able to get the movie done, and I can't wait to share it with everyone. I think it's be really cool. I think it'll be very nostalgic for people that grew up watching Disney movies, especially movies that are sort of, I didn't grow up in the era, but movies of like the live action movies that Walt made in the 50s and 60s. It has kind of the first half of the movie kind of has a similar feel to that. And then just people that want to get to know the man a little bit better. And it's been quite a ride. The interest in the film, just even before we shot a frame, was remarkable. And it's just been crazy. But yeah, 2 weeks is short. I mean, heck, how often do you guys put out episodes? I don't even feel like I get one every 2 weeks. I mean, not fair.
We kind of try every 2 weeks, but
every 2 weeks.
I have to. It doesn't take us 2 weeks to record it, and there's certainly not that much editing goes into it.
A lot of prep beforehand.
Yeah.
You gotta know the drink.
Yeah.
If you don't know the drink, then you're made fun of.
That's about it.
Well, the thing is, as well, the unions make us take a lot of breaks.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
the International Podcasters Union. That sounds like a good fun.
Logan, can I just ask?
MiceChat people are a bunch of jerks.
The views of our guests are not necessarily the views of DisAfterDark.
Sometimes.
Other views are available. I just wanted to ask, obviously, because of the short time of the shoot, is what the length of the finished article is?
Yeah, it's 90 minutes. It's an hour and a half. It may come in a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, but I mean, right now my initial edit was 93 minutes, and I think the little cut down was 90. So I assume we'll end up in the 93 minutes, about an hour and a half. And so, I mean, it's a full-length film. We knew we were going ahead. There's some different, takes that the way we presented the film was a little different. There's a narrator, kind of an old-school style narrator, who's a country music star here, not here, but in the States. Travis Tritt, who's our narrator, and he kind of makes it feel, again, more like those older movies, but it gave us a little leeway in production because it was covering some of that opposed to having to shoot as many scenes as we would. But our actors were very prepared. We maximum, I'd say, unless something went horribly wrong, did 3 or 4 takes and made sure everyone knew what they were going to do before we started. So, I mean, it was insane. I will never do it this way again. So, I mean, don't act like I'm like, oh, yeah, it was 14 days. It was great.
You just calmly said Travis Tritt did our narration for us.
I'm not sure if Travis Tritt's... I mean, I love him. He's a great person.
The heavy metal fan inside me went, never heard of him, don't know who he is. And the other half just went, squee! Travis Tritt!
Travis Tritt. I mean, that was honestly one of the coolest things about the movie. I mean, we have a lot of random people that are in the movie that have big followings. Our star, Olin Rogers, who plays Walt, his social media following is just straight up insane, and his YouTube following, 600,000 YouTube subscribers plus, has all this amazing stuff. But Travis Tritt is someone I grew up on, and it was an honor to work with him. But really, I read the script. I got the first draft of the script, and in my head, for some reason, I don't know why, but the voice of Travis Tritt was in my head reading this movie to me. And I was like, you know what, worth a shot. And I just sent an email. I found his manager, sent an email to his manager, and I heard back within, max an hour, and said, all right, send us the script. We're interested. And, within a couple of days, we had him locked down. And he was so passionate about the movie and about Walt, about the story. He even wrote a song for us the night. This shows you how, he's just a cool, awesome artist. He leaves we record in a recording studio. It was awesome. He did great.
Did you just say Travis Tritt is quite keen on Walt Disney?
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, I mean,
I don't want to drop any hints or anything.
I don't. I don't. Yeah, true. I don't.
Oh, I suppose if he wanted to.
If he wanted to, he could come on.
Wanted to
With
come
it.
on.
Oh,
Yeah.
right then.
Look, I have no idea. I mean, he's been much more passionate about the project than I thought. I mean, I wasn't expecting him to be like, oh, is he going to come to premieres? I'm not sure. And his people are all about it. He's all about it. And we record the whole session, and he gets on his bus. He pulls up in his bus, leaves in his bus, and heads on to another show. And I get an email the next morning with an MP3 attached. It's like, hey, Travis was really inspired by the story and about what you guys are all doing, and he wrote you a song. Here's a song. And it's amazing. And it's just one of those guys that's just, I mean, he adds obviously a ton of credibility to our project, but it's just super passionate about storytelling, especially stories like this that, stories that start, pretty much in the country and deal with a lot of issues that he probably had growing up as well, and wanting to be a musician with a family that didn't necessarily know what to do with that. And I think you have a lot of parallels in that with a lot of people, and that's where I think the story reaches out beyond Disney fans. Now, my Disney fans, I mean, I'm a hardcore fan, so the core, that's still my core, and that's still the people I want to make sure love the movie. But I really do think it has appeal. I mean, if you have someone in your family that's not a Walt fan, I mean, you'll be able to catch some stuff that they don't. But other than that, I think they'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Did you have any? Sorry, Paul.
No. I was probably going to come up with something stupid and sarcastic.
Paul.
So you go, Paul.
So I was just going to ask if there was any interest either from the Disney family or the Disney company or any contact. Or was this something completely independent of them?
It is completely independent. I cannot say just yet what the relationship may or may not be. They have not seen a cut, I will tell you that, but there is, we're working on something. I've said it publicly, and I'm fine to say it. My dream was to premiere the movie at the Walt Disney Family Museum in San Francisco, which I'm a humongous fan of. I've been multiple times. And I don't have anything other that I can say other than it's probably going to be up for review of some sorts. But there's some interest there. I've not heard anything, though, from the Disney company. I do have a lot of friends who work for Disney. Armand Serrano, who's one of the head of layout for Walt Disney Animation. He's working on just amazing stuff right now. He's publicly promoting it on his social media pages. He's a good friend. And a lot of guys like that who are involved in the Disney company are publicly saying it. One of my friends at Pixar is also doing the same thing. So what's nice is that I haven't heard anything officially from the company, but I know a lot of people within the company that are very excited about the project. Mm-hmm. So that's given us a bit of fun to see. We hope we don't disappoint them, but it's been cool to see some Disney friends and family come out of the woodwork for this project. There's some great people that I definitely need to send you guys to potentially have on. I mean, just people you never expect. Not only are Disney fans, but people that are just really deeply involved that love art and want to see it shared. And Tom Bancroft, who you may know him, he's a character designer for Disney Animation for the 2D days, mostly back at when it was MGM Studios. He came on. He's doing some of the character design for our opening credits, which feel kind of like 1950s opening credits. And he created Simba, young Simba for The Lion King. He created Pocahontas and Pocahontas, Iago, Mushu, all of these legendary Disney 2D characters. And he came on. He's here weirdly locally in Tennessee, and he came on to do some of those for us. So you can see some of those on our Facebook. We posted the sketches of them. So there's a lot of cool people that are involved in the Disney community, not Disney community, that were involved in the Disney company who have definitely shown their support for our project. And that's always exciting to say, but nothing official yet. I will say that.
You'll probably be welcomed more than Escape from Tomorrow was, so...
I hope so. That, I'll be honest, man, that put us back a little bit. There was Escape from Tomorrow. We had another film in the works, a documentary about people like you guys and me who are hardcore fans of the parks. And that was very, very far into development. But because of Escape from Tomorrow, we decided to put that one on the back burner because there was just such a negative stigma to that. And I'm not going to lie and tell you I didn't watch it. I watched it the day it came out. I was very interested in it. I was sorely disappointed in it as well because I think the idea was actually kind of neat, just shooting it in the parks guerrilla style. But I've shot on the parks legally before, and I will tell you that they are very, very specific. They're great people to work with. I've done a few TV specials for a few things there, and the fact they got away with it is pretty remarkable.
Well, Logan, lots of British sort of period drama programs are pretty popular in the US. So I'm just saying, Paul, Nick, and I were available. Okay.
Absolutely. Hey, I will be in the UK pretty much the month of July. So if we need any reshoots while I'm there, or if we have another project we're working on, I can't say what is, but we're there for a reason. Researching another project for our next film. So if we need some stand-ins, if we need some auditions, I'm giving you a call.
You've got the email address. Yeah, absolutely. Well,
I
haven't used the word absolutely for about 18 podcasts.
Yeah, and it was used every show ad infinitum. I can do a very good American accent, by the way.
I can't.
Okay.
Good day, mate.
No, that's cool. That's cool from Newcastle.
Is that not right?
So I was going to ask, so how far up to, I want to say up to date, but where does the film finish?
Right, pretty early. It films, it actually does, it finishes, I don't want to give away too much, but it goes from the time he arrives on the train to Marceline, Missouri, which obviously most of us know is the inspiration for Main Street USA. So it opens there, and it takes us pretty much to where he has gone through all of his businesses and different learning how to draw and being in art classes, meeting up iWorks, and it leads you through all there up until kind of the story we know. So it kind of ends about the time where he goes to Hollywood. Not to give away too much, but that's probably right around where it ends. And the reason we did that was a few. I feel like once you get to Hollywood, there's a pretty good story that most people know. I mean, not most people, but he went there, he had some issues with Oswald and all that. And then, but within 4 or 5 years, he's created Mickey Mouse and is a superstar. That may be something we dive into in a future project, but I really wanted the story to be about kind of the man before he was Walt Disney, essentially, when he was just a guy, and the relationship with him and his brother and his family. So that's why the story doesn't take you that far. But if you look at things like Electric Park, which is a theme park, or was a theme park in Kansas City, if you look at pictures of that, and you can hear from him too that so much of that inspired Disneyland. I mean, almost to the point of exactly, so if you look at the entryway, it looks very similar. So for Parks fans, there's stuff in there, even beyond just the little in-jokes. There's some cool history in there as well. But we're leaving the door open. You never know where we're going to go next. If this one's a success, we may take it elsewhere. So
I think it's absolutely genius, to be honest, Logan, because if Hollywood was actually doing this, so the Walt Disney Company said, we want to make a biopic of Walt Disney, then in typical Hollywood fashion, the period that you have made your film about would have been done in a 5-minute segue.
Right. That actually is very true. When we did our research, there's a documentary that's a good documentary that's put out by the Walt Disney family and by the Walt, kind of officially through the Walt Disney Company, just called Walt. And I think our entire film takes place in the first 10 minutes of that hour and a half. And that's true. I mean, you look at a movie, most biopics don't dive into that much, but so much of his childhood, for the first half hour or so of the movie, he's a kid. I mean, like a kid, like it's 11 years old, and so much of that inspired everything that happened, especially for us Parks fans when it comes to whether it was his love for trains or whether it was a love for just art in general or Electric Park, or all of these different things that happened to him in the Midwest that really inspired the beginning, kind of planted the seeds for everything that would happen for the rest of his career. So yeah, we did that intentionally, knowing that it was a story that I saw the Steve Jobs movie, and they weirdly reference his childhood in the first 10 minutes, and then you never hear about it again. And not that that's not, and the thing is, I don't know, his childhood may not have been interesting, but Walt Disney's story is interesting. And that's why I was excited to be shooting the film and seeing there. If a lot of people have seen maybe the Alice's Wonderland, not Alice in Wonderland, Alice's Wonderland, some of the old stuff he did at Laugh-O-Gram Studios, encourage you all to look that up. We tried to nail that as close as we can when it comes to some of his production. So, yeah, it's fun, and you're right. It's if you saw Saving Mr. Banks, which I assume most of you did. I mean, it was his childhood. I mean, obviously the story wasn't necessarily about Walt, but his childhood is talked about very briefly. towards the end of the film. And, we get into some of that, not maybe as hardcore as they did in that movie, but we get into some of that. And I think that you'll learn a lot more about the man and a lot more about the myth even that he portrayed through our film.
Brilliant. Where are you looking at premiering it in the States?
Sure. Well, like I said, we're very interested in doing the Walt Disney Family Museum. That's our dream, but I'm not gonna say that that's where it's gonna happen, because there's a lot of hurdles to go through for that. But not to say that they haven't been very gracious to us. We're talking to a few different places. We are definitely premiering at UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles, as our LA premiere. And the reason we chose a college is, number one, it's an awesome Disney club of kids that really wanted to see the movie. And that kind of fit with our independent spirit. Colleges and film schools and things like that are places that really thrive for independent film. So we decided that's where we're taking it. We're in talks with other festivals, but most importantly, our movie, I wanted to make sure our movie's just available. So for you guys in the UK, and then for American audience, it'll be available on Amazon and iTunes and all that inevitably. And initially we'll launch for everyone worldwide on our website at waltmovie.com, where everyone can download it, can stream it, can do whatever they want with it, except for pirate it, please. They can do anything but steal it. I'm fine with, and it'll be available for everyone pretty much at the same time it premieres. We live in a different time now where, typically you'd go festivals and we try to sell it to distributor in all these different ways. Not that distributors haven't been interested, but for us, we feel like the Disney fans, the people like me, the people like you, and the listeners are so dedicated, have already shown so much passion for our project, even started showing so much passion. I mean, we crossed 40,000 on our Facebook page before we even rolled. Are so passionate about this film that we believe that we need to kind of cut out the middleman and just get it directly to you guys as easily as we can. And I hope we do something depending, because obviously to get into the major retail outlets, not in the U.S., is a little bit of a stretch for us. We'll do it, but it'll take some time other than through our website. So we hopefully, if I'm there in the summer, I hope to see you guys, and maybe we can put on a show and somehow show this movie.
We hope to, yes.
Yeah. So it's going to be everywhere, though, and I really hope people should just check it out and go into it knowing, we've debated whether I'm going to have an intro before the movie or not to kind of explain what you're going to see, because it is not necessarily the most typical biopic. It definitely has an indie flair to it, and it also is it's also this sort of magical, fanciful story that's very true and honest, but it's just a lot of fun. And when you see something written in period time too, and it's supposed to be in the 1920s or before, that sometimes maybe 1905, 1906, the dialogue can come off a little over the top, but some of it's just the way people spoke, and some of it is a tribute to the way Walt told stories. And we want to make sure people get that and don't think we just are making this very strange independent Walt Disney movie. I think though it'll definitely appeal to everyone, and like I said, hopefully it's available. Our plan is available in the spring. We don't have a specific date yet. We should very soon, and we're shooting for probably in May, I would say is pretty safe to say. And we hope to have it available to anyone who wants to see it.
Flynn, sit.
Yeah, so
they allowed dogs and pups, right? And
as long as they're working or seeing or
okay, so it's not just like, because I've been to I've spent much time in France, and it is kind of like they're just everywhere. So I didn't know if it's like that, where it's like I'm eating dinner and under my feet is a Doberman.
They can bark in a French.
Can you imagine the dog that you just heard is so small? I know you thought it was like, I don't know, Beethoven or something, but it actually wasn't.
I love that's the first place we
went. Very excited about your film. He's very excited about the film, Logan. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm sure. There are no dogs in the movie. There's a cat in the movie. There's a horse in the movie.
And some mice.
So there's enough for people to. So dogs will probably enjoy watching it because there's a dog, or because there's a cat and a horse in the movie. So
fantastic. Thank you for that. Well, stick around because we're going to take a break in a minute. But the news is, I finally, on the Disney movie front, got to see Frozen the other week.
Oh, congratulations!
Finally. managed to get my daughters, and we all went to see, and we ended up going to see a sing-along version. Which is bizarre because I'd never seen it before, so I didn't actually know the songs, and it's actually quite off-putting with the subtitles.
I've not seen the sing-along. Did people actually sing in your theater?
Yes, because it was a bit like my Facebook and YouTube feed. It was full of
little girls.
stage school brats singing along.
Other stage school kids are available, of course, not just brats.
Yeah, I've noticed, but no, it was full, and it was like, do you mind shutting up? I'm trying to watch the film.
Anyway, the film. What did you think of the film?
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I'm just going to say okay. I actually thought the songs in Tangled fit more with the movie. It was almost like they'd gone, quick, write some songs and then get Broadway stars to sing them and then write a movie around them.
You know what? We were actually listening to the soundtrack yesterday, as I actually mentioned to Logan, pre-discussing the show. And when we was actually driving or listening to it, I actually said the difference between this and other Disney movies of that kind of type is that you've hit the nail on the head. It was written by Broadway musical writers. Right. And when you look at films like Tangled or Princess and the Frog or Little Mermaid or anything like that, the songs are very good. But when you hear Frozen, the songs from Frozen, you think that could be on a stage.
Yeah, and lo and behold.
Yeah. But I think the songs are great.
I can't, I'm not going to, and I'm suddenly going to like hoik my Calvin Kleins out of my jeans and lower my jeans to my waist level. I'm not going to diss the songs. But yeah, it did seem that it was a movie written around the songs rather than the songs written to fit the movie, which, yeah, fair enough. It was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The girls thoroughly enjoyed it. And every now and then, I've got a 7-year-old now, because she was 7 yesterday. Happy birthday, Ellie. Not that you listen to Dad at all. But yeah, she quite often goes, Dad, can you play the Wanna Build a Snowman song? That's the one. She doesn't care about anything else. The Wanna Build a Snowman song is the one that she sings along to. And she doesn't go to stage school, so I might just post it on YouTube anyway.
I bought for a joint present for my wife and child the other day a singing Olav.
Oh, I saw that
song. Oh man, that's been a source of much entertainment the last couple of days.
I saw it in the Disney store yesterday.
The reason I mention it is because as we go into a break, we've got the pub singer.
Oh.
And he does requests. In fact, he's got accompaniment this week. Are you ready for this? You're not ready for this. The snow glows white on the mountain. When it's howling like it's early coming I'm going to have to wait for the bridge, aren't I? How many people are turning off their iPods right now?
All of them.
I was just impressed by his range.
There's a range.
Here we go. Build up to it. Never bear me anyway. Funny.
Yay! Woo! Yeah.
His voice has got all the power of a thrush's fart.
And to go in conjunction with all the fact that my YouTube and Facebook is filled with these stage school brats singing versions of this, We're posting that on YouTube for our listeners to download if you want, complete with a video. Thank you, Pub Singer, for that. That is absolutely brilliant. I recommend going to... I'm not going to play the whole thing now because we'll probably get done for copyright or something. But I recommend going to YouTube and downloading it because it is utterly brilliant.
I don't think we'll get done for copyright. That's at least my problem.
Maybe slander.
If you need anyone for your next, if Travis Tritt isn't available,
absolutely,
for your next soundtrack,
I know who to call.
Just give us a call.
You guys are just full of talent over there, man.
Oh, we're full of something.
Exactly. Everyone's asking for a job, but that guy is.
Oh dear. Right.
The burning question.
Carry on. What?
No, I was going to ask if it's the burning question time.
It is the burning question of the day, and I haven't got a jingle for that. So, hang on a minute. Burning question of the day! You can't tell I've been drinking, have you?
No.
I'll get the pub singer to do the jingle for it.
As you can hear, Logan, once again, full of talent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. The burning question raised on Facebook was... assuming you can never, ever... go back to the parks of your choice, whether that's through, I don't know, fatal injury or the park closing down or whatever. We didn't specify.
Being banned.
Yeah. Being completely thrown out for going down in the tunnels or something.
Or forever.
Yeah. Forever?
Poor Adam the Woo.
Yeah, sorry. What would your last ride or experience be? And why?
So should we go to Facebook first?
Let's go to Facebook first, and then we'll give our take on it because obviously we're the ones that are important and correct.
Well, the first one was posted by a good friend of the show. I mean, basically, he's the fifth Beatle, even though there's only three of us. Yeah. Craig, who said that his would be the Carousel of Progress because it just reminds him so much of past holidays, and he loves sitting down in the theatre with his beautiful girls singing along. It also reminds him what an amazing man Walt Disney was, which I think was pretty good.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah.
I approve.
Yes.
Gets the Logan thumbs up.
Yes, absolutely.
Steve Riley from Dedicated to DLP, who are now, or at least by the time you're listening to this, allegedly, part of the MiceChat.com network.
Oh, congratulations.
Welcome aboard. He first of all wondered how many people read that question in the voice of Taylor Swift. You are never, ever, ever going back to a park.
Yeah, no, it was literally just Steve Riley.
It was, although I have to admit, from a Taylor Swift perspective, I like the fact that she thinks we're never, ever getting back together, which means me and Taylor Swift were once together. Aha!
Well,
I don't want you back, Taylor, anyway, so, he would choose Pirates of the Caribbean in Disneyland Paris. As the boat goes through the burning village, he'd jump out and hide, and they'd have to drag him out kicking and screaming.
Just up as a redhead. They'll never catch you.
Or dress up as Jack Sparrow and see if anyone notices, because he's not there yet.
Caitlin Albone, our, I believe, #1 fan, said, I think I had to say Phantasmic because encompasses, I can't even pronounce it, I've just had my fifth beer, it's one or two too many. Because it encompasses Disney for me even more so than Wishes, because it brings all the characters together and the music is wonderful, and the reason I got into Disney in the first place was because of the movies. I love the villains and they are in there, but seeing Mickey and her favourite Mickey triumph over the villains is the icing on Disney cake for me every time. Runners-up are One Man's Dream or Celebrated Magic or Philo Magic. And ironically enough, when I asked this question to Lindsay yesterday, before reading these comments, that's exactly what she said as well. So great minds, I'd say there.
Excellent. Okay. What else we got? Resort Loop Bob, who is Bob from resortloop.com and the Resort Loop podcast. Podcast? I'm going to call this a pubcast because I've been drinking. Not that you couldn't tell.
No.
Resort Loop Bob's going to go with either Jungle Cruise or the Carousel of Progress, which, considering this is the last time, I don't know we can allow either's. So, Bob, we need to come back on your we need to come back on your podcast and discuss this. Both are classic Disney and have Walt's touch. Then he'd stand in front of Cinderella's castle until security had to tase him. I like that last answer. Yeah, the visage of. Would they be the plain clothes security, or would they be Disney security? And do they even carry tasers? I don't know.
I actually liked Mike Nelson, who actually first of all put excellent questions, so thank you. We'll feed that back to the writer. Our last full day here, so he's obviously out there at the moment. So they're ending the night late at Magic Kingdom, finishing with Pirates in the Haunted Mansion, best rides, and one of the longest walks from attraction exit to front gate. And I thought that was genius. Because, if it was going to be the last time you was there, you'd want to prolong it as long as possible. Yeah,
or security are going to have to drag you out, kicking and screaming. Louise Waghorn, Luags, previous guest on the show, and welcome back whenever you feel the need.
Yeah.
Illuminations at Epcot. Stood with her family and a glass of sparkling.
Good call.
In brackets, yeah. An ideal way for a Disney adventure to finish. If that could bring back the Tapestry of Nations parade beforehand, that would make it perfect. We can't specify that because we didn't specify what would be the last moment. But there we go.
One outside of the parks, though. One outside of Disney, because a lot of these were Disney influenced. But Stuart Meek said, my personal least favourite ride of all time, at Popeye and Bluto's Build Barred Rats. I've spoken about my disdain of that ride before. One, because it's an amazing ride. It's not, you liar. But mainly because me and my family love watching the Americans come on in Pack-a-Max, full waterproof outfits on a water ride, and we intentionally wet them, their wet arses. Ha-ha. He's more drunk than I am. It's really hard. This entire experience in both franchises, hard not to love everything, including It's a Small World. So it was interesting that someone chose Universal, because most people did see it from the Disney point of view. So
we've got a few Universals. Lee Malaby from Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast said he would love to spend his last dying moments in Twister.
The only person ever to say that.
He didn't really. I just thought I'd get that one in there.
Oh, right, okay.
No, Vicky Wells, again, another listener and regular. If I could never go back, I'd go to Epcot and just find somewhere to hide and never actually leave. We've got some stalkers listening to us, haven't we?
Yeah, they're not stalking us, though.
No. That's Stuart Miller.
Yeah, I like that.
Can I I'll be very forward. Stu. As much as I loved Universal and Islands of Adventure, I've got to say my favourite roller coaster of all time is the Smiler at Alton Towers. Stuart, what?
I've never been on it, but actually, I did read a comment on Facebook earlier from another podcasting friend of ours, Mr. Adam Goodger, former person that's been on the show as well, who said that I heard people at Alton Towers say that why would they ever need to go to America when they've got Alton Towers? Completely missed up out there. Never mind.
It just seems like a pointless self-answering question, really.
Yeah. But, to be honest, we could do another 40 minutes of answers, but, Stacey Bradley, very good answer as well. Lisa Green, Melissa, who wanted to be locked up in Cinderella's castle for a final night. Thank you very much for everyone that contributed to answer that question. And really, I suppose it's time for us to answer it.
So, I'm going to start with you, Nick, as you're the one winding up here.
Right.
Get in there. Your last ever moments in a Disney park or Universal park of your choice.
Can it be time related?
What do you mean?
Well, because the thing is, the one regret that I've always got in life is I never got to go on Confrontation. So I'd probably go back to 2003 and go to Universal Studios in Florida by confrontation.
I'm not sure our webmaster and Facebook master is necessarily including time travel in the question. So no, I'm not allowing that answer.
Okay. In that case, then I would say Hollywood Studios, Rock and Roller Coaster, on the way out, onto Toy Story Mania, which I had a fast pass for earlier. Just before Pop Out finally, go and see Fantasmic and then exit the park and never come back.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, Mr. D.
That was a 3 for, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Well, I would have gone Epcot Illuminations, but since that's been done, then I think I'm going to have to finish on Wishes rather than a ride. I think if you're going to go with a bang, that's the way to go.
All right. Logan, the fatal question.
Sure. Yeah, I had to go back. Does any Disney park count around the world?
Any Disney park around the world. This would be your last.
Sure. I'm a Haunted Mansion hardcore fan, and Wishes was a good answer. I thought about that too. But I know you guys haven't probably experienced it just yet, but World of Color at Disney California Adventure, I think, would be the perfect way to end my Disney experience permanently.
It's because you haven't seen Disney Dreams.
Just an amazing show. And I think that would be... I thought about Wishes. Wishes was a good one too. But since you already took it, I'd say World of Color.
Yeah, see, I thought about this, and then I got into the specifics of the question, because we aren't specifying whether or not this is your last trip because you've just been thrown out, right, or your last trip because you're about to get hit by a bus.
Right.
So, assuming that I'm not about to get hit by a bus and I'm still around to do a podcast afterwards, then what I kind of think I'd like to do is I'd like to go back and do Mystic Manor again, so I can come back and gloat about it because you lot haven't. But then again, I thought, well, in that case, I'm going to go to Tokyo. And I'm going to ride the Tower of Terror in Disneyland Tokyo. Because I haven't hit Tokyo on my wish list yet. Or possibly, if the... And I added a few more. If it is a fatal, I'm going to get hit by a bus afterwards, then I'd like to go on one of the rides in Shanghai, because it means I've got a few more bumps yet. Because it isn't finished.
Guys, I've just had some breaking news from my wife. Frozen has won the BAFTA for Best Animated Film.
Spoiler alert. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, America
it would be a spoiler if it hadn't A, just been on television, and B, be another 3 days before.
We don't get our BAFTAs till like 8 o'clock here tonight, so I got like 5 more hours till I get.
Honestly, get the BAFTAs.
Quick,
go and tell your friends.
Quick, What's gambling like in Tennessee? Quick, get down.
Don't put bet on it.
Exactly. Not so much. I don't think we don't have many. I have to drive to Mississippi, so it would take me about 5 hours. But sadly, I think that that's a pretty sure bet. I don't think the Croods was going after anything.
I saw it the other night, and it was a good film, but it wasn't.
Oh, it's not bad. I got nothing against the Croods. I just figured, come on now.
But
in comparison,
the songs are a bit lame. And it's never going to make a West End musical.
But Back to the Future.
American Psycho, Back to the Future.
Back to the Future, okay. Did you just say, have I missed some news here? American Psycho going to make a musical?
Yeah, we'll take that one offline.
yeah.
Stars Matt Smith from Doctor Who.
Oh.
Really, I know I've had some drink, but I'm really not making up.
I read about that too. That's happening.
At that point, I think it's about time I hit this button. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to have to go and bang my head against the toilet wall now. Thank you, gentlemen. Listeners, thank you very much for joining us. We shall speak to you in 2 weeks' time, which for our Resort Loop followers is a fortnight.
Thanks, Bob. Good night, guys.
Thanks. Hey, guys.
Growing older is mandatory. Growing up is optional. Dis After Dark, the podcast that's nearly the same as all the others.
You stole it! And now instead of having Deutschland's greatest beer, we merely have fourth best. The Steiner Marzen, Radenberger und Becks? Yeah. Und Becks!
And we're out.